Have a good day everyone. I am Kim Ryoji Tirowa, a BSEd 1C student. For today's session, we'll be discussing the concept of perpetuity, specifically with computing the ordinary simple perpetuity and perpetuities due. Without further ado, let's start off the discussion by presenting to you our learning objectives which are expected for you to achieve after our discussion. So at the end of the lesson, students should be able to 1. Understand the concept of perpetuity and its significance in financial planning. 2. Show competency in analyzing and utilizing fundamental principles related to perpetuity calculations. And 3. Apply the understanding of perpetuities to real-world scenarios such as retirement planning or investment strategies to make informed financial decisions. First and foremost, we'll be defining perpetuity. What perpetuity really is. So it is a financial concept representing an endless stream of cash flows with fixed payments that continue indefinitely into the future without a specified end date. So perpetuity is quite similar to ordinary annuity, but the thing is, in perpetuity, it extends indefinitely or continues infinitely. So say for example, if you invest in a perpetuity, you'll be receiving a fixed amount of money regularly, and it keeps coming forever. Now, how about the characteristics of perpetuity? So first is the endless stream of cash flow. So as being said, in perpetuity, when you invest a substantial amount of money, you'll be receiving a fixed amount regularly in an endless stream. Another is fixed payment amounts. So after the initiation of the perpetuity, the company or the bank promises you to pay a fixed amount of money regularly depending on the payment intervals, whether it's monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. And lastly, we have the no maturity date. So in perpetuity, there's no way to compute the maturity date since the time is infinite. Because again, in perpetuity, it extends indefinitely or continues infinitely. Now, for you to understand more about the concept of perpetuity, let's consider this real-life example. So, an individual donates a substantial amount of money to an educational institution to establish a scholarship fund. That is to pay out the fixed amount of scholarship awards each year forever. So we have these key terms about perpetuity, the fixed amount, and the term forever. Because again, in perpetuity, it extends infinitely. So the donated funds would be invested by the institution and the perpetuity payments made with the investment earnings. So after the donor donates a substantial amount of money in an institution, so the institution will now find a way to help save or grow that particular money. And one of the best ways to do that is to invest the money in perpetuity, wherein they can guarantee a stream cash flows regularly. So suppose for example that a certain amount donated is made to San Sebastian College to endow a perpetual financial support fund. If the school invests the funds to earn an effective annual rate of 8%, the amount could be paid out in periodic payment on each anniversary of the investment. So the amount that is referred to is the interest earned by the institution from their investment. And this particular amount will then be utilized to support their scholarship program. And it's being specified that the generation of such amount will occur each anniversary of the investment. It's stated that the effective rate of 8% will be annually. And the principal amount would neither grow nor diminish in subsequent years. This simply means that the principal amount in perpetuity would not increase nor decrease, and it always remains constant. Now let's dive to one of the types of perpetuity, which is the simple perpetuity. So it is an annuity in which the payment interval equals the conversion period. So this simply means that in simple perpetuity, if the conversion period is annually, then the payment interval will also be annually. And now let's consider this figure 8.1, which is the time diagram for the payments of an ordinary simple perpetuity. The numbers 0 to 6 represents the interval number, and the payment size is denoted by the capital R. So this number 0 is the time of the initiation of the perpetuity. Hence, if the payment interval is annually, then the fixed amount will be received by the investor after 1 year of the investment. Because again, in perpetuity, the fixed amount will be received by the investor after the payment interval. Now let's discuss the components of an ordinary simple perpetuity. First is the initial investment. So this amount is the invested amount of the investor. And the fixed payment amount, this will be the amount that the bank or the company promises to pay the investor in a regular interval. And the interest rate, this will be the basis wherein the principal amount will be calculated to know the fixed amount that the investor will be receiving regularly. And the payment interval, this represents the frequency at which payments are made from the perpetuity, such as annually, semi-annually, quarterly, or etc. So the payment interval, say annually, then the investor will receive that fixed amount every year. And of course, the perpetual nature, the characteristic of the perpetuity, where payments continue indefinitely into the future without a specified end date. Again, in perpetuity, the variable t is infinite, so it always extends indefinitely. Now, let's dive to the basic example of an ordinary simple perpetuity. And this time we'll now be introducing the formulas in finding the present value, the fixed amount, and the interest rate of an ordinary simple perpetuity. So suppose you invest a substantial amount in a simple perpetuity that pays out 500 pesos at the end of each year, and the interest rate is 5% compounded annually. Find the present value. So we have here A sub P is equal to R over I, where the A sub P is the present value, R is the periodic payment, and I is the periodic rate or the 5%. Now, using the formula, just substitute the values. For R, we have 500, and for I, we have 0.05%. And now we'll now come up to our present value of 10,000 pesos. This means that 10,000 pesos must be our amount of investment in perpetuity in order for us to receive a 500 pesos regular stream of income annually. Now, what if the missing variable is the fixed payment amount, which is denoted by the capital R? So suppose you invest a substantial amount in a simple perpetuity that pays out a fixed amount at the end of each year, and the present value is 10,000 pesos with an interest rate of 5% compounded annually. Find the fixed annual payment. So we're going to find the fixed payment amount that the investor will be receiving annually. So using the formula for R is equal to A sub P I, let's just substitute the values. From R, we have 10,000 pesos times the I, which is 5% or 0.05, and our fixed payment will be 500 pesos. Now, how about if the missing variable is the interest rate, which is denoted by I? So to find that, again, let's just derive the formula. So suppose you invest a substantial amount in a simple perpetuity that pays out 500 pesos,
at the end of each year, and the present value is 10,000 pesos. Find the periodic interest rate assuming compounding occurs annually. So using the formula for I is equal to R over the A sub P, just substitute the values. For R, which is the fixed payment, we have 500 pesos over the present value of 10,000 pesos. And our interest rate will be 0.05 or 5%. So this will be our interest rate after the investment of 10,000 pesos in order for us to receive 500 pesos of regular payments annually. Now let's dive to a more complex example of an ordinary simple perpetuity. So a commercial bank is considering the establishment in perpetuity of a visiting professorial chair in business administration at a university. The cost would be 100,000 per month. And the question is, if money can earn 12% compounded monthly in perpetuity, what endowment is required to fund the position? So since our cost would be 100,000 per month, so that would be our regular payment, which is the variable R. Since it's 12% rate, so our J will be 12% or 0.12. Since it's compounded monthly, our variable M would be 12, and finally our I would be 0.01. So using the formula for finding the present value R over I, we just substitute the values and will now come up to 10 million pesos, which will be the endowment required to fund the position. Same thing with finding the present value when the question is the endowment required. Now let's consider another question. What monthly compounded nominal rate would an endowment of 20 million pesos have to earn to fully fund the position? So the given present value would be 20 million pesos. So that would be our variable A sub P, and our fixed payment amount of 100,000 will be our variable R. Using the formula for the variable I, which is R over A sub P, we'll just substitute the values, and that would be 0.005 or 0.5%. And since the question is what monthly compounded nominal rate, so we'll just multiply our variable I, which is 0.5%, to the variable M, which is the number of compoundings in a year. So since it is stated that the compounded would be monthly, 12 times 0.5% is equal to 6% compounded monthly. So this, now let's consider a more complex example about an ordinary simple perpetuity. Mr. Asherto's will directed that after the satisfaction of a number of specific bequests, the residue of his estate be invested in perpetuity, and that the funds be left to accumulate until they can support a payment of 300,000 pesos per year in perpetuity to the Kapos Palad Society. So let's first analyze the problem. So Mr. Asherto's will, also known as the last will and testament, stated that, or directed that, after the satisfaction of specific bequest, or in our term mana, or the distribution of wealth to those individuals who are specified in his last will and testaments, such as his family, friends, and other relatives. So after the distribution of those wealth, the residue or the money left from that distribution would be invested in a perpetuity. And the objective of this particular investment is to pay a substantial amount of money to support the Kapos Palad Society, amounting to 300,000 pesos. So if the residue of 2 million pesos, so assuming that the money that is left from the distribution of Mr. Sherto's wealth will be 2 million pesos, and it is converted at 8% compounded annually, how long will it be before the society receives its first payment? So the question is how long, and the variable that is missing here is the time variable. But we cannot directly answer this particular question since our 2 million pesos of residue would not be our present value, since it could not guarantee to generate 300,000 pesos of fixed payment per year. So 2 million pesos is not enough to invest in a perpetuity to generate a 300,000 pesos of fixed payment per year indefinitely. So the present value here in the investment is actually missing. So using the variable R, which is the fixed payment of 300,000 pesos, and the stated interest of 8% or 0.08, will now find our present value. And by the way, our I is just equivalent to the variable J, since our number of compoundings is annually or just 1. So using the formula of A sub P is equal to R over I is equal to 300,000 pesos over a rate of 0.08 will now come out to our present value of 3,750,000 pesos. So this means that 3,750,000 pesos will be in the investment amount to the perpetuity in order to generate a 300,000 pesos of regular payment annually. So after we have found the present value, the question is not yet satisfied, because the question is how long does the 2 million pesos will grow to 3,750,000 to initiate a particular investment. That's the main objective, is to pay 300,000 pesos to Kapus Palad Foundation. So the residue must be allowed to grow until this amount is accumulated. So the accumulated amount as referred to is the 3,750,000 pesos. Then the society will receive its first 300,000 payment 1 year later, because in ordinary simple perpetuity, the fixed amount will be received after the payment interval. Since our payment interval here is annually, then the 300,000 pesos will be received by the investor 1 year later. So it remains to be determined how long will it take the initial 2 million pesos to grow to 3,700,000 pesos at 8% compounded annually. So again, after finding our present value, the question in this particular problem is how long does the residue of 2 million pesos will grow to 3,700,000 pesos in order to initiate that perpetuity that promises to pay 300,000 pesos monthly. Now, to address the said question, we'll now use the compound interest formula for time, then solve for the value of n. So since stated in our previous discussions about annuities, the formula for finding the time is equal to log f over p over m log quantity 1 plus I. And we'll just derive the formula until we could come up to the formula in finding the variable n, and this particular formula will be our basis to determine how long does 2 million pesos will accumulate to 3,750,000 pesos. So just substitute the values for f. Our future value would be 3,750,000 pesos, and our present value of 2 million pesos. So simplify the given values and we'll now come up to our final result of 8.17 years. So the funds must accumulate for 8.17 years, making a total of 9.17 years until the society receives its first payment. Meaning that it would take 8.17 years in order for the 2 million pesos to accumulate to 3,750,000 pesos. And this particular amount, the 3,750,000 pesos, will be invested in a perpetuity to generate 300,000 pesos of fixed payment after 1 year. So it makes a total of 9.17 years until the society receives its first payment, because in ordinary simple perpetuity, the fixed payment will be received by the investor after 1 year of the investment. So it's not specifically 1 year. So it always depends on the payment interval. So since the payment interval in this particular question is annually, hence it would make a total of 9.17 years in order for the society, Kapus Palad Society, to receive its first payment of 300,000 pesos. Now, after discussing the concept of ordinary simple perpetuity, let's now dive to another type of perpetuity, which is the perpetuity due. So perpetuity due is an annuity in which the payments are made at the beginning of each payment interval and continue forever. So it's quite similar with the ordinary simple perpetuity, but the thing is that in perpetuity due, you will receive your fixed payment right after your investment. Unlike in ordinary simple perpetuity, wherein the investor will receive its first fixed payment after the payment interval. So let's consider this time diagram for the payments of a perpetuity due. So it illustrates that a perpetuity due is equivalent to an immediate payment R followed by an ordinary simple perpetuity. Thus, the present value of a perpetuity due, A sub P due, is R plus the present value of an ordinary simple perpetuity. So try to look at the time diagram and compare that to the time diagram of the simple perpetuity. The R is in place or aligns with the 0. Again, 0 represents the time of the investment. So this means that if you invest in a perpetuity due, you will immediately receive your fixed payment right after the investment. So that's the main concept of perpetuity due. Now let's be discussing the formulas to be used a perpetuity due. So it's being stated that in perpetuity due, it is equivalent to the immediate payment R followed by an ordinary simple perpetuity. This means that our formula for the present value of an perpetuity due would be A sub P due is equal to A sub P plus R. So we'll just derive the formula and we'll now come up to the present value of A sub P due is equal to R over I quantity 1 plus I, or simply A sub P quantity 1 plus I, since A sub P is just equal to R over I. So using algebraic manipulation, we will arrive at the periodic payment and interest formula as shown below. Using some derivations, we also found the formulas for finding the variable R and the variable I in perpetuity due. So just take note of this formula as we will be using that in our examples after this slide. Now let's consider this example. So a rural bank's preferred shares pay a dividend of 60 pesos per share every beginning of 3 months in perpetuity. The next quarter dividend is not to be paid. Question number 1. At what purchase price will the shares provide an investor with a rate of return of 12% compounded quarterly? So the missing variable is the A sub P due, since the objective is to find the price of the present value of the dividend. So the present value formula is R over I quantity 1 plus I. Then just substitute or plug in the values, we could come up to 2,060 pesos. This means that the purchase price of the share that generates a dividend of 60 pesos every beginning of 3 months would be 2,060 pesos. Now, how about the question letter B? What will be the nominal rate of return of the investor is able to purchase two shares for 3,060 pesos? So the given present value here is 3,060 pesos. And the variable R, which the fixed payment is the same with 60 pesos every beginning of 3 months. Now, using the formula for finding the variable I, which is the rate, equals to R over A sub P due minus R. So just plug in the values. For our fixed payment denoted by R, we have 60 over the present value of 3,060 pesos. So just simplify and will now come up to 0.02 or 2%. And the question is, what nominal rate? So since we have just found the value of the variable I, we will also multiply that to M, since the nominal rate J is equal to M times I. So compounded every 3 months, which is quarterly, the number of compoundings would be 4 times 2%, and that would be equal to 8% compounded quarterly. Now let's consider this example number 2. Find the monthly payments of a perpetuity of present value is 47,200 pesos. If money is worth 9% compounded semi-annually, payments are made at the beginning of every 6 months. So understandably that our variable A sub P would be 47,200 pesos, and our rate would be 9%, and the number of compoundings would be 2 since it's semi-annually. So just plug in the values using the formula for finding the R, which because the missing variable here is the fixed payment amount, which is denoted by the capital R. So using the formula, R is equal to A sub P due times I over 1 plus I. Plug in the values, 47,200 for our present value, 0.045 for our rate, over 1 plus 0.05. Simplify and will now come up to the final result of 2,032.54 pesos. Therefore, the quarterly payments will amount to 2,032 pesos and 54 centavos if you invest 47,200 in a perpetuity due with the compounding rate of 9% semi-annually, and your payments of 2,032.54 will be received every beginning of 6 months. For our conclusion, perpetuities provide a timeless solution to financial planning, offering a steady stream of income that lasts indefinitely. Whether it's an ordinary simple perpetuity paying out annually or a perpetuity due with payments starting immediately, the concept remains the same. A reliable source of income that stands the test of time. So if you're planning for retirement or setting up a trust fund, perpetuities offer a simple and steady way to make your money work for you today and always. That would be all for today's session. I hope you learned something all throughout the discussion. I'm Kimrioji Tirua, a BSED 1C student. God bless and see you next time.